rebuttals? Any?
No, I totally agree. And then just a thing, like, okay, so I'll share. So I recently went on a blind date. So a friend hooked me up on a blind date, and first time meeting a guy, we never met in person, and we're having dinner. And like straight out the door, it was like, who are you? What's your credit score? Where do you work? How much money do you make? Like these intense questions. I was like, hey, wait a minute, we're just having dinner. Like, chill out. And he was like, well, I have this, I have that, and I have that. And by our second date, we together, I'm going to be giving you money. I'm going to be paying your bills. Oh, you have a kid? I don't want your kid around me until, and I'm like, this is the first date, not even a full 3 hours. And he came out the door and I was just like, whoa, this cannot be dating. Maybe I've been out of the loop for a while, but I was so blown away. And I was just like, okay, do these men think that we're here just to have them give us things? And I was just like, okay, first of all, it was a good date. I'm ordering my food. He was like, oh, I can tell you're indecisive. You're one of those women. I'm like, excuse me, where did you get that from? Oh, because you can't decide on what you want for dinner. I was like, appalled. And I was just like, okay, no, that's not the case. So being the big man that he is, I guess he wanted to show out. He was like, oh, well, what are you thinking? I'm like, well, I was thinking this or this. He was like, oh, waiter, give her all 3 of those meals. I'm like, well, who gonna eat all that for? I'm like, okay, Big Daddy, you want to show out today? I'm gonna let you show out. We went ahead and ordered all 3 of the meals. Baby, pack all my meals up because they going home with me. I'm gonna eat them comfortably in the comfort of my bed without you here. And I was like, on my way out, he was like, oh, I can tell you like to speed. He called me after the day. I'm like, well, how do you know that? Oh, so you won't be able to be driving my car because you speed. I'm like, driving your car? I'm like, where are we going with this? This is our first date. I don't even know you. You want to pay my bills, come to my house, wash my. I'm like, no, it doesn't work. I was like, hey, you're a nice guy now. However, at the rate you're moving, it's not going to work. This is not for me. And he was very serious. By the second date, I need to be blanking the dog out of you and we together. And I was just like, no, this cannot be life. So it depends, but I had to think to myself, there are women out there who just want a guy to do for them and let me tell what you're going to do for me and let's do this. So I couldn't, say that he was wrong in his approach, but it just was not the approach for me. So
wow.
And that's my most recent dating experience. I kid you not. So
okay. So
go ahead, hold on. BB has a story of her most recent.
No, I don't got no story. I don't have no story.
Oh, you heard you saying you don't want.
I said that's all. But yeah, that's it. All right, but I ain't got the story.
So it seems as we're listening that the dating realm is pretty difficult to navigate. Now, what do you say, Lisa, to some people that would say, the nice guy always finished last? Like he knew he wanted to be serious. Maybe his approach was a little off, but he wanted to provide. He wanted to protect, because I'm listening to the things you said. So I can take out of that. He wanted to provide. He wanted to protect. He wanted something serious. What do you say to the nice guy always finish last? Because, and I'll put this out there. I had a conversation with a gentleman, and he said, girls don't want the nice guy. They want the guy that's not interested in them, that they have to chase. And so we wanted to put that out there because that's some men's perspective right now. And what are your thoughts on that? Because he made it seem as though we were old school women, but new school women want to do the chasing.
I don't think it's that I want to be chased, but my thought on that is, baby, that's a red flag. You can't come out the door talking about some, on our second date, we finna be hunching and doing all this, and you finna be in my house paying my bills. Where I know you from? You can't trust nobody.
No, something wrong with him. I don't agree that he want to protect anything. He just want to grease. He want to do what? So he with the hype. You know what I'm saying? And you could just tell from the
and that
top.
might be what he's used to. That might be his preference. I get it, but that's just not going to work for me. I don't want you to chase me, but I want to get to know you. I want to know who you are. Let me get to know you, brother. This is date number 1. I have not even known you a full 2-3 hours. Like, cut it out. Stop it. No one does that. No, that's a red flag. I'm sorry. It's a red flag. Something wrong with him.
It is.
And he's telling me that on the surface. Something wrong with me. Don't date me. That's how I read it. I'm sorry. That's what I got from it. But like I said, there are some women who like that. And it's all about what you can do for me, what you give me. But I'm not looking for those type of resources. I'm not looking for financial gain or anything like that. I'm looking for true companionship. I want to get to know you. Let's see what we have in common. You know, let's build on a foundation versus the materialistic thing, because it's not about that. It's not. That's not what dating is for me. I know Bianca mentioned online dating. Even for that, I find a problem with online dating as well. Only because when you're dating online, everybody's trying to put their best them forward. So you don't never really know the real person. Like you said, you can be catfish easily. When I'm trying to create a profile, I'm looking for the best picture that I have in my phone, you know, to put up there and put my best foot forward. But in reality, I know how I be. My hair don't be twisted all the time. You know, I am not that person. So it's like you're already starting out with a lie. So how do you date, you know, when there's just, I don't even know what to call the foolery of dating. So it makes it, and then you meet people like that on a blind date. It makes me feel like I don't even want to go on a blind date again. Like that was my first and last time, I'm done. So, you know, you could shut down pretty easily, but like Tawana said, it's all in the fun. It was fun. I enjoyed my 3 meals when I got home.
Yes.
So that's the fun of it. But,
Anissa, it sounds like his maturity level was not there.
Right.
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 It's with the
But
hype.
to him, he feel like he was being a man. Like how Markeisha said, he wanted to provide. He wanted to show me that he can secure me. And to him, that's probably what being a man is. I got a good job and I'm going to pay your bills. So we together. And I'm like, nah.
But
so,
typically,
you know, to each his own. You have to let people be who they are at the end of the day.
But I personally feel like for the men who are like that, those usually the guys who don't pay anything.
Right.
Yeah, those are usually the guys who don't pay anything. Like I'm just being honest from my experiences.
Wow.
The guys who take care of all my bills, who are there for me, those aren't the ones who tell me on the first date. Those aren't the ones who actually even say anything. They're not going to be loud about their finances. They're not going to be loud about any of those. So those are the guys that I like, the guys who are like financially, like the guys who I've dated in the past, who financially taken care of me and all my bills and all that stuff. Those are guys that you wouldn't even think had a lot of money, but they did. And so I personally think that that's a part of dating. I think that it's just being able to identify those red flags, because I find that from my experiences, the time that I've gotten hurt is when I've ignored those red flags, or the things that are like the no, that's not what I want. I've kind of accepted it. That's when I've kind of ended up in situations where I'm like, dang, well, I'm sitting there by myself and mad and sad. Is because there was a red flag, like this man coming talking about he gonna pay all, he gonna tell you something like he gonna pay all your bills, and maybe he looked good, and you like, okay, I know you lying, but I'm gonna believe it because you look good. So I think that that's like a part of like dating, really being able to really sit there and be like, okay, what are the things that are like non-negotiable? Like, what are the things that I'm just is not gonna work out for me? And then figuring out what are the things that are like, okay, maybe if that person has it or doesn't have it, this can work out. But I think that that's like a big deal. And I personally think that a part of dating, whether you are gaining in it financially, I think finances, like, I think that we don't talk about that, but money is involved. Like I personally feel like when it comes to men, that is that's the first way that you show your discipline when it comes to your finances. So if you broke, if you don't got no money, if you aren't wise about your finances, I don't want you in my life. I don't need you in my life, because a part of leading me is finances. If whatever I bring to the table, whether it's more than you or challenges you or the same thing or less than you, it's supposed to be something that you can be able to if you are the person that's supposed to lead me, you're going to be able to properly tell me, or later down the line when we're married, what we're going to do with our finances. So if you don't got any money, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, if you're not making wise financial decision, like you're going to a date saying 3 meals, you're not the guy for me. That's not the guy that at some point I want to lead my life. That's just personally me and my experiences. I found that those are not the guys that I want. Those are not the guys that I like. I don't want the show off. I don't want the one who you doing too much on a first date. You trying to get me 3 meals. That was cool. Like you said, I'm going to take it and I'm going to eat it.
Okay, eat that thing.
But, yeah, but that's just not, not it.
Right.
Nice guys finish last are the ones that we're not attracted to. Because I have a couple of those in my life and I don't want to settle. Like, I want what I want. And I know I'm not gonna sit here and be
It's
like,
true.
oh, he's this and he's that, and no, because I can do those things for myself, like Lisa said. So I'd rather be by myself than settle for somebody that's a nice guy that finished last. You're gonna keep last until you get the
I
person
agree.
who's okay with who you are. I'm not gonna be with you when I know that I'm not gonna be able to respect you. You gonna keep finishing last.
Let me.
I
And I agree, Trees, I agree with you because Stacey be trying me.
I don't know
said,
you.
oh, I met this guy, but she was like, well, you don't know. He this and he may be the man for you.
God.
No, the Lord know what I want. I pray, like Pastor Eddie say, you got to talk to God and get him the details, points. I be talking to him, Lord. Nah, that ain't what I want, Lord. She was like, just because he a little shorter, what you want me to do? Go on a date and he right here? Nah, I'm not about to do that.
But that's the
for him to be right.
Hold on, Naomi.
No.
Hold on, Naomi. So are you all saying that nice guys don't have money? Nice guys aren't attractive. Nice guys don't
Nah, we ain't saying that.
no.
So okay,
We're not
can you
saying that. We
explain-
saying that they be unattractive.
nice guys?
So this is
Not all of them.
so.
We are not
So this
saying
is what
that.
I think.
I'm just playing, I'm just playing.
Okay, go ahead.
This is
Marie.
this is what I think with the whole nice guy thing, right? I feel like a lot of times some guys don't know what their type of women are or what their type
That's
of
what
woman
it is.
And
Boom.
I feel like they go for the woman that's not necessarily their type. So as a result, they get hurt. So I do think that it's best for them to, I do think that it's best for them to actually analyze themselves and say, okay, well, what is my type? What kind of woman am I looking for? And then perhaps go after that kind of women, because, if you're looking for a woman that's like, who doesn't typically date a guy like you, and you try to date her, I mean, she may take advantage of you and you may end up, finishing last. I think that it's about, understanding, who their type is.
Go ahead, Keisha.
I guess so. I have a question because I'm listening to all of the standards that we have, and I'm gonna be a male for a minute. I'm thinking like a man, but a lot of people on here are single. So obviously, some of the qualities or standards that you have, maybe they are too high because, and let me say this, I'm gonna speak from experience. I told God I want one thing and he gave me something totally different. And I thank God every day that he gave me what I needed versus what I wanted, because what I wanted wasn't crap and what I needed got me everything that I wanted. I have a desire at this point. So the question becomes, what standards do we have? And are those standards realistic for where we are? And are they because, and I'm just playing devil's advocate here, because if nice guys always finish last, maybe what we need to kind of reevaluate what we're going after if we end up single anyway.
Well, I think in your situation, you lucked up with a beautiful man. Like, come on, like a lot of the nice guys that finish last are just not that. And I want to be attracted to you.
Right.
I want to be able to lay down with you, look you in your eyes, and be able to want to kiss you and have that for you. So
yes.
If
I
I don't
agree.
have that for you, it's not so much that, but let me have some type of attraction.
Something.
But why do you all equate niceness to inexperience based off of Marie's definition? He may not know what kind of girl he's into, and he has to
Right.
and Patrice was just saying, it sounds like attraction. Why do you? Because I have a nice guy, and I consider nice to be gentle, chivalrous, respectful. He doesn't mind putting some money behind a certain thing.
But he not led. That's what she's saying. Leap out
He can have
led.
all of that. I want my man to have all of that, but I'm just my piece is I want to be attracted to him.
Thank you.
But
That's what she's saying.
aren't there enough? You don't think that there's attractive, nice men out there? Is what you all say?
Yeah, it is. But they probably we just ain't seen them
They be
yet.
married, Stacey. They be married.
We ain't seen them yet. We talking about the ones who hollering at us.
Let me
throw myself under the bus. I'll throw myself under the bus.
So let me throw one other thing out there while we're talking, we are all talking about attractiveness too, right? So let me just put it out. Are we, like Marie said, are we attracted to men that we can't have? Because now let me pause, because men have a standard too. Like I heard a man say before, when you get in your 30s, you competing against Naomi's. That's what we are competing against. And when we're in our 40s and our 30s, we are competing against her. And so we kind of joked around and said, look how Nay came on the line. But in 30s and 40s, these men are
look how we look at.
They pulling, no, listen, they pulling Naomi. And so they got their body together. They don't have any kids. They doing their thing. And so the question,
they getting flued out.
They getting flued, right. So the question becomes, are we, what Marie is saying, are we looking for men that are not in our standard? Because apparently the men that we want are not wanting us back. So
wait, but
that's just what I'm putting out there.
If I can comment on that, because I think that I appreciate that comment. Thank you. But I also think it has to do with, I think flying is a mindset. It really is a mindset, and it's a decision. Because at some point I was 40 pounds heavier. And I decided that I looked in the mirror one day and was like, I do not like how I look. And, you know, like, I was grateful that I got to train with your husband, who like really was able to put me on a nutrition plan and train me and get me the body that I like, which I think that in the back end, it also affected like how I thought. It affected my effectiveness during the day and what I did in my business, how, like who I was spending my time with, who I was letting, you know, like make me upset. It also affected like the money that I was making all in. So I think that it was when I made that decision to kind of like level up. I feel like that's when I started to attract those men who want to pay all my bills, those men who want to fly me out, and those men who want to take care of me. It was when I made the decision to be like, okay, I don't like what I look like in the mirror. And I think that because of that decision, it doesn't matter like that I'm in my 20s. I think even when I'm in my 30s, my 40s, my 50s, my 60s, whatever, I'm always going to be very, very intentional about what I look like. Because I believe that you have one chance to make a first impression. You don't get two chances. You get one chance to make a first impression. And I think that your first impression on whatever date you go on is the impression that you leave on a man. The first time he sees you, the first time he interacts with you, the first time he smells you, that's where like in his brain, he creates like, okay, what is it going to be? Am I going to take care of her? Or is she just going to be somebody who I drive by Thursday late at night and do what I got to do and keep going? And I think that that's what it has to do. It has to do with your appearance. It starts with physical. I think physical mastery is just one of the biggest things when it comes to human nature. Once we master that physical mastery, everything else is easy. We then are attracted to, it goes back to that attraction that Marie was talking about, how it's like, the guy that we want, he's now attracted to us because we got the body, we got the look, we got all those things. So it's like, it's not a competition against other people. It's not a competition over the 20-year-old. It's a competition with self. It's like, are you challenging yourself to be better? Because once you're challenging yourself to be better, you're going to attract that really handsome, hot, attractive guy, because now you're really hot and you're attractive. I mean, that's just based on my experience.
Healing. That goes back to
and healed.
Yes.
So do y'all think
All
men
right.
think like this? Are men thinking in that term? Are men thinking like you thinking when they look?
Ask Tawana.
No.
Tawana
Yes,
had
that's
all
what I
sorts
want
of.
to
Now look at this, how I get it. But thank you, Naomi, for sharing that. See, I don't feel like a 20-year-old can compete with me. I just don't feel like, to me, that's impossible. But how men feel, I don't know, because I'm not a man. I just know, like Naomi said, every year you got to level up. Every time you walk out, you got to level up. You got to show up and be who you want to attract. And you're going to attract some fabulous people. And you're going to be like, God, I'm this age, but I'm still attracting this. They still looking at me. It's no competition. The 20-year-olds are just that. 20-something-year-olds.
Right.
I would not see them as competition, because I know
I like
who
that.
I am, and I'm comfortable in my own skin. I will walk right in the same room with the Naomi, because she is beautiful, and I won't feel any kind of way, Because I know some people gonna look at me and some people gonna look at Naomi.
Right.
Confidence.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what it is.
Yes.
Because I agree with Naomi, but there's big women who got the finest man in the world. They're big, and it's all about your confidence. And that's true. I agree with Naomi. It's all about your confidence. True, that's true. But because you don't have to be skinny now to get pull nobody.
Right.
Hello. I'm just playing.
So did we finish our thoughts about the nice men finishing last?
Yes.
I wanted to say something.
Okay.
I wanted to say something about that because I feel like about the whole attractiveness thing, right? I think that we have to be careful about that piece, simply because the reason why I said that is because looks are fleeting, right? Beauty is fleeting. I think when you meet someone, you have to think about, okay, what attracts you to them? Is it their looks or is it their personality? Because that look eventually will go. Eventually he's going to get older. So you have to live with the man. What if he doesn't have anything else to bring on the table? So I think that, I think Stacey Stacey was talking about it earlier with is it BB? BB, when she said, he could be your husband. I think that a lot of times, like as women, we sometimes don't give guys a chance because we look at him and we're like, well, he's ugly. But I do think that, playing devil's advocate, I think that sometimes you have to, okay, well, let me give him a chance. Let me get to know who he is. Maybe he could be a good guy and eventually like.
Jeez. Okay, girl, I'm checking out here what you know. Okay, Marie, I'm sorry, baby girl, no. The Lord, no, like he just and not you, like no, not what becomes. No,
I'm not finna settle for anything less than I deserve.
Yeah.
More. I've done that all my life, and I'm not doing.
Yeah, no, I can't do that.
No, I'm not saying to settle, but sometimes.
Great God,
but
for
sometimes.
Hold on, Marie.
That's just not what God has in the cards for me.
That's what I feel.
I have to be able to look at you and be able to kiss you.
Okay.
To look at you and be able to lay up with you. It's not just the attraction of your looks, but I also want to be attracted to you in other ways. Now, if you got me in the mind, you got me. You know,
right. Or you will feel gross laying up with somebody you're not really attracted to.
Right.
Because I did that. I'm a witness. Too. I did that for 7.5 years. When I first met him, and let me tell you, we can't. I went by, let me tell you what made me date this guy. I had to be like 19, 20 years old, and we stayed together for 7.5 years. I dated him because at the time, 19, 20, he was driving an Acura. That was the thing back in the day.
Yeah,
he was driving an Acura. He had a job. Hey, I'm dating you. Because, at a point in your life, you get tired of dating the dope boys, the street boys. I said, let me try something different. Because my baby daddy, he did his thing and he never recovered from doing his thing. So I said, let me try somebody who has an honest job. But then time went by, and then I just thought about, I can't be with him for the rest of my life. I'm like, he's a nice guy, very nice guy, worked hard, gave me his check, like paid. That was the first guy I ever lived with. But afterwards, I'm looking at him. I'm like, I could wrap my arms around him like this. He was just that tiny. I'm like, this is not going to be, I cannot. It made me feel yucky. After time, it made me feel yucky. So I say, let me get out of this relationship. Because I didn't want to hurt him, but I wasn't attracted to him. I was attracted more to riding around in his car while he was at work.
Okay,
and that's real.
Sad.com. But I was young and immature at the time.
Keisha?
I'm one of the ones that's in my 40s. And I do believe that with the nice guys finish last, that whole thing, you really want to be able to say that you have all these things, you're a great guy. I don't mind getting to know you, but once I've gotten to know you, if there's still nothing that attracts me to you, you're going to keep finishing last with me. And that's just
right.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. If it's nothing. So are you all just basing attraction off of looks, or can you be attracted to the person's personality, to their heart, to the way that they treat their moms? Okay, so when we say attraction, it's not only based off of looks, it can be other characteristics that makes him look better physically.
It's a combination of things. Yes.
Yeah. And that's what I was saying, Stace, not necessarily because of the looks, but also because he may have certain characteristics that makes him attractive. That's what I was saying, basically.
Gotcha. Okay. Keisha?
I hear everybody. I still am a proponent of sometimes you don't know what you really need. I'm not saying that God's gonna give you a man that is ugly and that you're not attracted to, but I also say sometimes we set up these standards and boundaries for ourselves that we don't really know what we need in our lives. That's my personal opinion. And sometimes God will bless us with someone that you're like, wow, I wasn't even looking for this, but he has that. So my thought is, I just would say be open to new people and new things so that you have that opportunity to, maybe find that one particular person that you desire. But I wouldn't say just shut everybody down because he may not look the part or he may not walk the part, because there are some things that people grow and people change. And I don't know, to me, I'm with Marie. Like once you hit 40, 50, looks start to fade a little bit. And so a lot of other things are more important to me in this season, but I understand everyone's perspective.
All right, ladies. So it's a great conversation. We want to respect you all's time, but we want to give each one of you all 1 minute to give us any final words about dating, about your perspective on dating, about your own experiences, etc. So we're going to start off with Naomi. Give us some final words, some tips for other single ladies, whatever you would like to share regarding this conversation that we had today.
I think dating is a really cool idea because I think dating is where you decide who you're going to spend the rest of your life with. But I also think that for us to be just remember to really spend time with ourselves and to learn about who we are, what we like, what we don't like. Because once we determine what we like, what we don't like, and we figure out the areas that we can grow in, and we are intentional about growing in those areas and fixing those areas, I think innately we'll be attracted to all of the things that we desire. I would say do not settle because everything that you want is out there. And I personally believe that the more that you entertain the things that you don't want is the longer that you are apart from what you really desire. So I would say to really don't settle. Let go of the things that you do not desire. And I believe that God really gives everybody the desire of your heart, but then you get that person thrown in to kind of distract you. And don't be distracted because what you want is out there, every single one of those components.
All right. Thank you, Naomi. Treese?
I am all about healing right now because that's where I'm at. And I really feel like if you don't love yourself, if you're not in a place where you truly, really know yourself and what you desire and what you want, and like Naomi said, just truly being able to bring those different things into your life, once you put that out there, you don't really need to be dating. You need to really understand yourself. You really, really need to get to the nitty gritty of the things that you've been hurt and you've not let go of, not just in relationships, but some things that your dad didn't do. That's a whole nother video. that healing is important before you date because you take all that stuff into relationships and it's just not worth it.
Absolutely. DVD, any final words?
No, ma'am. I don't have any final words tonight. I'm kind of tapped out, you guys, but I have no final. Well, have fun. And be safe with dating. It's weirdos out here all in the physical and also on the web. So you have to very much be safe because they're idiots. So be safe and, just take caution. And, look at everything. Just make sure you just review everything before you do anything. So.
All right. Thank you. Marie?
I would say that we have to work on ourselves because as women, our weakness is actually lies in our ears. it's what, guys are telling us, that's what makes us fall. So we have to work on who we are. In a man, his weakness are his eyes. So you're gonna attract a man based on how you look, but in order to keep him, it's gonna be your personality. So work on who you are. Work on yourself. If you want something serious, you have to first, work on yourself first. Love yourself. Build that confidence first in order for you to be able to bring something to him, pretty much.
Okay, thank you. Wow. Lisa.
I would probably say embrace the beauty of dating. Take it for what it is. I think dating is an opportunity to get to know what your likes and dislikes are, and you can do that in the midst of getting to know yourself and understanding yourself, because a lot of times we take too much time trying to figure out who we are, what we really want, and sometimes we miss the bus. And I've heard that before from men. Oh, you just missed the bus. You would have been the one, but you missed the bus. But enjoy the beauty of dating and getting to know people, because I think that's when you truly discover what you do like and what you will not settle with, or what you can compromise with. And the only way you can do that is by entertaining various personalities, various men from different walks of life. And that's the most I think you'll get out of when you find that one. And you'll be like, oh, this is why he was the one, because X, Y, Z, LMNOP, they just weren't cutting it. And that's my advice.
All right, thank you for that. And Tawana.
Hello, everyone. Great conversation tonight. Thank you all for having me. Yes, date for fun. Make sure you always date for fun. Don't be in a relationship and be miserable. Always put the fun in it. And while you in these long-term dating relationships, or however you want to call it, make sure that you are continuously building up yourself. I make sure I build up myself, date myself, take care of myself. Yes. In the meantime, and I receive the additional support and help from the help of my friend guy, but he knows that I'm gonna make sure Tawana is well taken care of. And he's in the background right now, so I'm gonna mute right now. Thank you all so much.
So ladies, we thank you all again for joining Let's Talk. For the audience, we hope you enjoyed this episode of Let's Talk. Stay tuned, because we have our single men panel that will be coming up. So we will see if the men are thinking like the ladies, and then we will go from there. But thanks for joining us. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you again on Let's Talk.